Hi, welcome. It's time for a children's book reading or a reading for children from a candidate. I am a candidate. Was a candidate for the 2024 presidential election here in the USA. I have not conceded because I have a lawsuit pending. There's a lot of fraud and manipulation in the system, and I'm hoping to hear something soon about my lawsuit. So I have not conceded the election because it is not official. In my opinion, there's too much fraud and corruption in the system. So I'm still a candidate, is what I'm trying to say. I am Susan Maude Buchser-Lochocki and a presidential candidate. So I am reading today from the Constitution of the United States of America, and we are already at Article 5, where it talks about making amendments to the Constitution and other legislative possibilities, ratifying things, documents, laws. So let's get down to it. Article 5 of the U.S. Constitution, Section 1. No, sorry. It's, what is Section 1? There's only one section to this one. Article 5. The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, so that's of the Senate and the House of Representatives, shall propose amendments to this Constitution, or on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments. So the amending the Constitution can also come from the states. 2/3 of the states need to come forward and declare that, which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this Constitution. So it is in the Constitution to change the Constitution. When ratified by the legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by Congress. So there's two different ways: through the Congress directly or through the states and the state legislatures. Mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and the fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. So we are beyond the year 1808, so technically we don't have to think about that part of this section, this clause, but that specifically refers to the slavery and ownership of slave issues that are earlier in the Constitution. We no longer use those anyways, so it's all null and void. Plus, we're beyond that year, so It's not before. Yeah, so that is Article 5. So how they go about changing the Constitution or adding an amendment, that's how you do it. Okay, I am not going to go on to Article 6. No, I'll wait. Yeah, I'll wait. Okay, so that's the general idea. So it can come from the Congress or from the states. There just has to be a certain percentage of people who come forward and say things, and then change can happen. Now, in my opinion, we've had a lot of changes to our Constitution, and I think it just might be time to consolidate and rewrite before the English language changes much more, because it is supposed to be a constitution for the people, not at the people. And it shouldn't be like you have to have a certain education level to even understand it. You know, we don't have to understand everything that our forefathers did, especially when they did things that they did. So we need to call a convention of rewriting the Constitution is what we need to do, and start from scratch, using it as a guideline and maybe looking at what others have done and see where our priority is. And yeah, this is just children's book reading. So, or reading for children, so I don't want to go too deep into it. But anyways, it's you get an idea of how the Constitution works and what's possible. So we're almost at the end, I think, of the Constitution, and then we'll move into the Bill of Rights. I already started reading the Bill of Rights, but we're going to go back and work more on that as well, because we needed to get into the juicy part, the real facts of how and why things are the way they are. Okay, so I hope you're enjoying this reading series that I'm doing. I think it's important to reach out to people who are of many ages, and then also we have a lot of new citizens who maybe English is not their first language, and so slowly going through each step of like the Constitution or some of the other books that I've read on U.S. history, it helps to explain to them too, so foreigners, what our country's about. And that's why, I mean, I started this, I think, because I realized that I had a lot of single fathers who were following my platform and my campaign, and or people who wanted to be fathers, and so I'm sort of catering to them. Also families, of course, they like me too. I mean, mothers like me as well. And so it's all of that. It's because I'm family oriented as a platform. My platform is very strong on family, and I wanted to also give families an opportunity to sit down with their kids and talk about the different issues. So that's another reason. It's to bring families together, or also just to have children have a good understanding of what their country is. So it's all of the above. I remember Saturday mornings when I was growing up that we had Schoolhouse Rock and some other things that were educational, and I found them wonderful and helpful. I was raised on Sesame Street and Electric Company and a whole bunch of other shows, and I think it's important. These things are good. And so that's what I'm trying to do. Provide good information for all. It can be shared, or it's child safe. Okay, So that is where I am for this week, where we are for this week. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Susan Maude Buchser-Lochocki, and if you want to look up what my lawsuit's about and things like that, please do. My website is susan4usa.com. That's Susan, the number 4, usa.com. Thanks for stopping by. Bye for now.